Welcome back, dear girls. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon with me. It's time for another coffee conversation. I hope you have got something warm to drink because I do. And today I want to talk to you about a relationship, a toxic relationship. The one you can't unfollow, the one you can't mute, the one you can't block because it follows you everywhere you go. And that relationship is the one you have with your own self. I know some of you must be thinking this is getting too deep for a Sunday. And I thought the same. But here is the interesting part. Over the last few weeks, while having conversations in my group with other girls and other women, one topic kept appearing again and again. Self-sabotage. Some girls said, "Why do I always ruin good opportunities?" Others asked, "Why do I keep settling when I know I deserve better?" Someone asked about careers, others asked about relationships, money, confidence, starting over. But underneath all those questions, they were really asking the same thing. Why do I keep getting in my own way? So I did what I always do. I started paying attention. I had long conversation with friends. I started reading, listening, thinking. And I realized this isn't just about confidence or discipline or even motivation. It is much deeper than that. So today, I want us to do something together. I want us to be completely honest, no pretending, no trying to have perfect answers. This is a safe space. No one is judging you, including me. So let me ask you a few questions. Have you ever talked yourself out of an opportunity because you thought someone better will probably get it anyway? Have you ever stayed quiet even though you had something valuable to say? Have you ever convinced yourself that now just isn't the right time? Or maybe you have met someone who was kind, consistent, emotionally available, and somehow it felt boring. So you found yourself chasing the person who kept you guessing instead. Or maybe it wasn't a relationship, maybe it was career. You left everything until the last minute, then when it did not work out, you quietly told yourself, "See, I knew I wasn't good enough." If any of these sound familiar, I'm going to say something that might be uncomfortable. Sometimes that is not just bad luck, sometimes it is self-sabotage. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Not just what self-sabotage is, but why so many girls experience it, where it comes from, what it quietly costs us, and most importantly, how we begin to get out of our way. Because if we don't understand it, we will spend years believing the world is holding us back when sometimes the hardest battle is with the voice within our own head. So, grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's get talking. So, what self-sabotage really looks like? The strange thing about self-sabotage is that it almost feels like you are not ruining your own life. It usually feels like you're protecting yourself. Think about that for a second. When we hear the word self-sabotage, we imagine someone making obviously bad decisions, doing something reckless, throwing everything away. But that is rarely how it looks like. Most of the time, it sounds like, "I will do it next month. I'm just waiting until I'm more experienced. It is probably not the right time. Someone else can do it better. Maybe I should stay where I am for now." And it does not feel like giving up. It feels like responsible. It feels practical. Sometimes it even feels mature. And I think that's what makes it dangerous, because while we are telling ourselves that we are being careful, what we are actually doing is quietly stepping away from the life we say we want. I have been wondering, why is it that two people can have same opportunities, the same education, the same amount of talent, and one of them takes the chance while the other convinces herself that some other time? Is this confidence? Sometimes. Is this discipline? Maybe. But I don't think that is the whole story. Because I have met incredibly talented girls who do not feel they are capable, girls who everyone else believes in except themselves, girls who are waiting not because they are not ready, but because they are waiting to feel ready. And sometimes that feeling never arrives. And then I started asking myself another question. If we are all trying to build our better lives, why would we ever stand in our own way? Why would we stop ourselves? It does not make sense until you realize something. Maybe you're not trying to stop yourself. Maybe you're trying to protect yourself. Protect yourself from rejection, from failure, from disappointment, from hearing no, from finding out that maybe it won't work. Because as long as you don't try, there is always that comforting thought, maybe I could have done it. Trying removes that maybe, and that is terrifying. But here is another question I could not stop asking myself. Why does it seem to be so common with girls? Not all girls, but enough that we hear the same story again and again. I did not apply, I did not ask, I did not negotiate. I stayed quiet. I thought I wasn't enough. Then the next question becomes, where did this fear come from? And I think that's where the conversation gets really interesting. Where does self sabotage come from? I don't think girls are born doubting themselves. I think many of us have learned it, not intentionally, just quietly. Growing up, we have often heard to be careful. Don't be too loud, don't fail, don't embarrass yourself, don't ask too many questions, don't make people uncomfortable. So, over time, many of us become experts at avoiding mistakes. But there is another problem. When you spend life avoiding mistakes, you also start avoiding opportunities. You stop raising your hand, you stop asking for more, you stop taking risks. And one day, it does not even feel like someone else is holding you back. More or less, it feels like you are doing it to yourself. What are we really afraid of? For a long time, I thought people are actually afraid of failure, which correctly said. But now I'm not too sure. I think many of us are also afraid of what happens if we succeed. Because success makes you visible. People notice you, people judge you, people expect more from you, and suddenly you have something to lose. So staying where you are starts feeling safer, even if you're unhappy. Because familiar discomfort can feel less frightening than unfamiliar growth. And maybe that's why self sabotage isn't really about failure. Maybe it is also about choosing discomfort we already know instead of uncertainty that could change our life. So, then how do we stop this? The obvious question becomes, okay, if I'm doing all this, then what should I actually do to stop it? And I wish I had one magical answer for this. I wish I could tell you that one morning you will wake up and suddenly feel confident, suddenly stop overthinking, suddenly believe in yourself. But I don't think that's how it works. I think the goal is not to become fearless. The goal is to become willing. Willing to apply before you feel ready. Willing to speak even if your voice shakes. Willing to hear no because every no reminds you that you survived it. The more we wait to feel confident to show up, the longer confidence keeps waiting for us. The cost nobody talks about. Can I tell you what I really think is the saddest part? Self-sabotage rarely ruins your life in one big moment. It does it quietly. One opportunity you don't take, one dream you postpone, one boundary you don't set, one salary you never negotiated, one relationship you stayed a little too long. None of those decisions seem life-changing on their own until one day you look back and realize they quietly became your life. And then it hit me. The biggest thing self-sabotage steals isn't success, it is trust. Because every time you promise yourself, this time I will do it, and then you don't, you teach yourself something. You teach yourself that your own word does not matter. Imagine hearing that from someone else. You would not trust them. So why would your mind trust you? I think rebuilding starts by rebuilding that trust, keeping the small promises to yourself until your mind starts believing you again. I know today's conversation was a little uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for me too, because while I was preparing for this, I realized there were places in my own life where I still do all these things. And maybe that's the point. This isn't about becoming perfect, it is about becoming aware. Maybe you have been calling yourself lazy when you have actually been afraid. Maybe you have been calling yourself unmotivated when you have actually been protecting yourself. Or perhaps the next version of your life does not begin when the world changes. Maybe it begins when you stop getting in your own way. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday with me. I hope today's conversation was helpful. Maybe it started with a few uncomfortable truths, but I hope you are leaving with a little more hope than you came with. We have so many conversations planned. I genuinely can't wait to share them with you. So until next Sunday, take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and remember, your potential does not need perfection. It just needs permission. You don't have to become someone else to build a different life. Sometimes all you have to do is to stop standing in your own way. I'll see you in the next one.